let's get into this thing. So speaking of this administration of buffoonery, now, instead of, releasing the Epstein files and trying to find everything they can to distract in this situation, the administration saying the White House, Trump administration, whatever the hell you want to call these fools, basically are saying that they want Joy Behar to leave America because they don't like what she's been saying about Donald Trump. Because apparently nobody's allowed to have an opinion unless it's kissing his orange tanned ass or orange spray tanned ass. Now, the White House has taken aim at Joy Behar and Rosie O'Donnell. The former The View co-host, O'Donnell, shared an impassioned speculation that the show could be canceled amid growing political tensions. When reached for comment on O'Donnell's post, which referenced Behar, White House correspondent Taylor Rogers exclusively tells Entertainment Weekly that they feel the pair are irrelevant losers while also creating a new nickname for Behar. Yeah, they called her Joyless. So y'all are so creative over there. I could just fall out on the floor and just cackle. It's like, that's the best you can come up with? Joyless Behar? To me, the joyless ones is an administration because, like I stated before, y'all are still out here big mad over South Park eviscerating y'all in real time in the past 2 episodes. The first one, y'all talk about, oh, they ain't been relevant in like 20 years. But then y'all had the nerve to screenshot a picture of South Park, of people in the ice cars and with them about to do the ice raising things, and then Homeland Security goes and uses this screenshot of a South Park episode, the ice episode, to promote ICE. Talking about join.ice.gov. Maybe I shouldn't have told y'all what the site is, but you're going to join regardless. So, or those who join are going to join, and those who got sense won't be a part of that foolishness. So then South Park clapped back and was like, wait, so we are irrelevant? And put a question mark and then hashtag eat a bag of dicks. Which I told y'all earlier that it was just like, that's my go-to line. When people piss me off, just go, you know what? Go eat a bag of dicks. It's my way of saying F you. So everybody who goes against this administration ain't relevant, but clearly they are, because if they weren't relevant, you wouldn't be giving energy to what they're doing. They've clearly struck a nerve. Rosie O'Donnell has struck a nerve. Joy Behar, who openly goes in on Trump every chance that she's on The View, because they talk a lot about what's going on in this administration. They give, of course, linear corporate media conversations around it, because they're not really deep diving into what's really going on in there. That's why I say you got to go to the independent media conglomerates, such as a Kyle Kalinske, a Crystal Ball with her show, or a Hassan Piker, or a Mehdi Hassan, or who's it? Breaking Points, or the I've Had It ladies, who, I love Jennifer Welch and Pumps. They be going in on what she calls him, Tank McTaco Tits or something. I'm like, McTaco Tits is hilarious. Where they be going in on Donald Trump and the names they be giving him, because it's like, look, if you're gonna come up with names and try to drag people, and we got to talk to you on a child's, a toddler's level, then I'm gonna come down to your level. Let me come a little lower. Let me come down to your level, and I'm going to read you down to the floor, because that's what we got to do. Because apparently you don't understand reading and comprehension skills. So I'd have come toward you like a slow-ass child who got brain damage. So, it's on the back of the short bus that needs the helmet so they can prevent themselves from banging it on the window. Now, Rogers, so he basically goes and calls them losers, whatever the case is, says our country is better off with Rosie living abroad, and we can all hope Joyless Behar will join her next. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but Joy is not going anywhere. As long as The View exists, which according to Rosie, is not going to exist for long. I'll get to what she had to say in a second, because I'm thinking now I might as well combine this as one segment. Because Joy, Joy's not going anywhere. She lives in New York. She's got a place out in the Hamptons. She likes her life here. She makes a shit ton of money being a part of The View. She's not going anywhere. So wishful thinking on your part. And I kind of am in a way. It's like, you know what? Rosie can say whatever the hell she wants to say, but you're using your right to speak freely on other people's land. You decided to not stay in the United States. So with that being said, how do I put this? Does Rosie's words hold weight? Because it's like you ran. And to me, I feel like I get like the fears and all the other stuff that's going on with people, and you have the ability with all the money you got to just pack up and leave. A lot of people, like, a lot of us don't have the wherewithal, the financial, wherewithal to just pack up and go to a whole nother country until things blow over. And then when everything's good again, I can come back to America. It's like, no, don't start running when the going gets tough. Because bad enough we've been abandoned and left in the no man's land by democratic politicians, except maybe a handful. Majority of majority of them have pretty much left us. And so what do? You could have probably helped join the fight, but no, I had to go leave, and you want to blame it on the well-being of your child who's special needs. So I said, because it's not enough to run the country into the ground, you have to control what people see, what they hear, and what they think. This is what O'Donnell wrote in a post caption. And the view, well, that's a little too much woman, a little too much truth, a little too much Joy Behar saying, I don't think the insurrection was a tourist visit. Karen, apparently the truth is dangerous now. She finished writing, so no, we do not get quieter. We do not make ourselves smaller so they can feel more comfortable. We speak louder. We take up space. We stand together and say what is true, even when it shakes the walls, because the most dangerous sound in the world is a woman who knows what she's talking about and refuses to stop. So yeah, there's been a lot of that where it's just like a lot of people don't want to hear what women have to say. And you already know that Trump is intimidated by a strong woman, particularly if they black. So he only thinks that women are good for allegedly assaulting them or, them being treated like a piece of property. So you have a lot of these men who have these kind of old school mentality ways of thinking, which is why he married a mail order whore, Melania. And he can't take women like a Joy. He can't take women like a Rosie. And I know some people be like, but wait a minute. Joy went to his wedding, and all these people had no problem with him back in the day. Of course not, because back in the days, he wasn't trying to run the free world. Back then, he was just some clown real estate developer who was trying to assimilate himself or basically forcibly push himself into the world of entertainment. And shows like The View and all these other talk shows and everybody, they was eating it up. Like Trump would even call up news channels, pretend to be his own publicist so that way he could get interviews and all this other stuff. Like he was doing all kinds of grifting just so that way he can extend his 15 minutes. And yeah, the Hollywood was eating it up. So it was like, oh, we could have you in the room, but you can come in for a little drive-by or have a little 1 hour cackle session. But after a while, his ass got to go. Like they wasn't really bringing him in the situation. And what normalized him in so many ways was Celebrity Apprentice. Then people decided to prop him up and make him into this big real estate guy that he really wasn't, because he had failed bankrupts, like 6 businesses bankrupt, including 2 casinos. So when all of that came out, people forgot about all of that because they were loving what they were seeing on this TV show. And y'all normalized him. Hence why we got him in this place of now, when the TV grip was up and nobody was caring about that, now we got to move into the presidential stuff. So here we are, and this is what we're caught up in, and now it's a big old mess. So I hope that they don't cancel the View. I don't even think I got to that part yet. So yeah, she said, so yeah, with all of that being said, Rosie did say this. She said, she wrote that she also learned the network will not cancel the show, which is code for we're going to cancel it. We're just trying to soften you up first. Saying, quote, because it's not enough to run the country into the ground. You have to control what people see, what they hear, what they think. Oh yeah, I think I just read that. So, do y'all think that they will cancel The View? I don't know. I did remember we did talk about on the show that there was a story that came out that Bob Iger and people over there that was running Disney did have a conversation with the women, and they were like, no, we're not letting up on. And I feel like y'all need to start have a united front. Don't let these overlords come in and just cancel y'all shows. And to me, y'all get rid of all these shows that go against, that push back against what Trump's saying. What is there that's going to be left? You have, I was going to say, you have The View is the #1 daytime talk show on TV, but that didn't stop them from getting rid of Colbert, right? So if it does get canceled, I would be upset because it's a show that's been around for a long time, and there are people that love the show. My parents love The View. My dad loves The View. My mother watches The View. So, um, and my father's not intimidated by a strong woman, hence why he's married to my mother still, because she could be a lot. But she can't hear me. She ain't watching the show. So she don't watch my stuff because I curse. That's what she told me in a conversation. She was like, "Oh, I don't watch Chris show because yeah, he be using profanity." That's a way to get people to not, you know. But anyway, so um, but they know what I do on here with the entertainment stuff. But yeah, that would be sad because I know there's a lot of people that love the show. It would be make a lot of other people happy because they get they need to get rid of those women. I was like, look, everybody have a right to say what they want to say and do the type of show that they do. You have a choice whether or not you want to sit and watch it or not. And so if you don't like The View, then don't like The View. But I do think that the show needs to exist for the people that watch it. But I hope that the show doesn't. I don't think the show will get canceled. But I know But I do feel like at this point they need to kind of broaden their horizons by adding a little more variety to the show instead of making it so Donald Trump heavy. Because and another thing I was thinking about too with this whole Donald Trump situation, we're seriously going to have a huge case of PTSD. I was even gonna say like when this administration finishes out their 4 years. But I feel like people are going through PTSD in the midst of this storm. How do we navigate through this mess and try to hold on for dear life and try to survive this mess? Because this is not like his first term. Now you have a bunch of yes people around you. You have a lot of neo Nazis and all kinds of other nutbags, drug addicts, drunks, people who don't know what the hell they're doing, who are destroying our very democracy and going at it hardcore, full stop, 6, 7 months in. So how do we hold on and continue to fight through this mess and try to keep our head above water? Because I feel like people are feeling stressed out. People are still just trying to work to get through the day and take care of their families and all this other stuff. But how can you do that when you have someone who single-handedly have an administration that's dismantling all the very things that people have been using to try to keep their head above water? And you're only cucking yourself to these billionaire corporations because that's more important to you than the American people. And these people are thinking that Trump cares about them and trying to help them get a leg up. No, you're making the leg that you're supposed to be standing up on, them 2 feet, you're making it hard for people to maintain that and to take care of themselves because you're just taking so many things away from them and taking away all these obstacles or putting more obstacles in people's way for them to not be able to get what they need to get. So I don't know. It's just be some things I've been thinking about lately. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding the White House wanting Joy to move out of America and Rosie O'Donnell having this fear that the show will be canceled over political pressures? And saying that, yeah, when you spill the truth about what's happening in the administration, the truth hurts and the truth is dangerous. And they don't want the truth to get out. They want us to keep fighting amongst ourselves while they, rob us blind and then continue to make it rain on all, for these tech bro oligarchs. So like the Peter Thiels and so many of them. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.